Welcome to Cohesive Friendship Unit. My name is Chris. I'm here with Jake.
Hey guys.
Brian.
What's going on?
And Jeremy.
What's up?
Guys, CES 2020 is happening. It's a tech show, not really a game show, but some neat gaming stuff has come out. Specifically, this Alienware UFO prototype, which is basically a Nintendo Switch for PC gaming. I kind of wanted to talk about it and investigate. Is this a good idea? Does the Switch only belong in Nintendo's weird world, or can it expand and into what realms? And yeah, we're going to talk all about it, but real quick, we are doing a giveaway. Giving away a copy of Risk of Rain 2 at 2,250 subs on your platform of choice. Check out our community tab for more. So if you love us, sub us, and if you like the video, throw us a like. Let us know if you would buy this Alienware UFO prototype. Alright guys, I'm just going to do a quick thing to highlight what it is. So it's a prototype. There's no cost. You can't pre-order or anything. It is basically a Windows 10 tablet, which retails for about $150. It's like a smaller version of the Surface, and it has basically Switch-like controllers, right? Like you attach it like a Switch, and they can detach and attach to a very similar thing as the Joy-Con rail. I forget what it's called, but the thing that makes it like a normal PC controller, and you're off to the races. At that point, you're playing PC games, and it has a kickstand, so you can do all that. It's basically a Switch, but as a gaming PC. So yeah, let's go nuts. Because Brian had some good thoughts.
I mean, I don't think this is gonna work out for a couple of reasons. Like, part of the thing with the Switch was that it had all these like trick features, that it had all the sensors and the controllers and the vibrate stuff, and you know, even though they're kind of dialing that back with the permanently attached version they're coming out with, it was still a sell point, and this doesn't even do that out of the box. Like you could take the controllers off and play it as a little tiny screen, or I assume you can probably connect it up to a TV too. Yeah,
there's an output signal to display it, but it's not, I mean, in this prototype form, it's not as seamless like you were saying.
Right, and the fundamental problem with it, at least for me, is that a lot of PC games, and they showed it like on the little video on that CNET article that you sent, they showed it playing Rocket League, which I think is a little bit of a, you know, follow the ball type thing, because if you're playing a shooter on this against people that are playing on mouse and keyboard, you're gonna get beaten down. Like it's you're not gonna be able to tap on the screen and like shoot precisely that way. And a lot of games on PC, a lot of the popular ones that people play are shooters. So, you know, Nintendo has their own library of games, and the thing's already set up for controller support anyway. Like you don't play Nintendo games with mouse and keyboard. They're not designed that way.
Yeah, exactly.
In addition to the whole, Nintendo has their own library of titles that if you want to play Zelda, you got to buy a Switch. Like, too bad. They sold Wii U's that way. So, yeah. You know, Alienware doesn't have this to rely on, and it's almost like the Nvidia Shield kind of warmed over. Yeah. Except less specs and presumably less expensive, but like those weren't that successful either, and this has been tried before.
Android, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but still, like, you think you're going to use the Windows interface on that little tiny screen? Like, that's not going to be useful to you. Sure, you have the capability to do other stuff with it, but like, you don't have a keyboard, you don't have a mouse, so you can't run like a DOS game on it, or
at this point,
Windows 98 game. It's not going to work.
At this point, you might as well just get even a thin form gaming laptop. It'll be more powerful. You might as well get a gaming laptop. It sounds like is what you're saying. There's a hard argument to scale down further than a Windows laptop on the PC space.
Right, and I don't know that I've never really saw the appeal of a PC that you don't have a keyboard with. Like a mouse and keyboard with, because the whole thing is designed to work with a mouse and keyboard, because that's just how PCs work. You're like, oh yeah, you can type on the screen, but like
until Windows 8 changed everything.
I wonder if they'll have an option to do that, because one of my biggest complaints for the Switch is that there's no Bluetooth support. And Bluetooth keyboards and mouses exist, so I wonder if they're targeting the PC market. If maybe they'll add some feature in like that where you could connect a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard to your Concept UFO tablet.
I'm sure you can.
From a portability standpoint, how is that more convenient than just an Alienware laptop?
Yeah, with a mouse that you carry around.
Slightly smaller.
And from a point of diminishing returns, like a portable mouse and keyboard, you're not going to want to play games on. And if you're going to spend the money to get a decent Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, like, why not just get a PC that you can upgrade? And because I'm assuming this is not going to have it, what you get is what you get, and the specs probably aren't going to be all that impressive.
Yeah, they would need some good specs to make a good value proposition against the Switch.
And
that was my first thought, was like, I'm skeptical that this could even play at like reasonable quality many PC games.
Yeah, like I personally am not a huge fan of gaming laptops. Like I think for the right person that can be a solution. Like if you're a student and you already need a computer but you want to play games, then yeah, maybe it's a good solution for you. But like in general, your upgrade path is fairly limited and you're spending a decent chunk more for equivalent hardware, and this just seems like even crazier. On top of that, Switch is super low level, like it's very optimized for playing video games, and Windows 10 is very optimized for being a computer that you can play video games on, and I just think that the specs aren't gonna carry as far on something that's running Windows 10 as it does on the Switch. That's a guess. Unless Windows has... Yeah.
I would assume they'd have to be better, because I mean the Switch already kind of sucks at playing Nintendo games.
Yeah.
So like they're not going to get any money if it's less powerful than the Switch.
I think this is just like a prototype thing now, so there's no like there's no launch date or whatever, but I think that the argument for this would become much stronger if the streamed games thing really took off, because then you don't need the processing power on the device itself. You can just stream them, and you can plug this into your TV and play it like a regular console, and if they can sell them for, $200-300, I can see people going for this. But the way that seems to stand right now, it's not really there.
But then you always fall back on the argument on the streaming side where like then you basically need banging Wi-Fi to play games at all.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of technical ifs in that. But
yeah.
That's one case where I can see this being something that's actually viable.
I think the other thing, going back to what Brian said in the beginning, is I think like the appeal of the Switch is significantly, based on the first party titles that Nintendo has put out. And I don't think if those first party titles weren't there that the Switch would be as popular as it is. So I think just from that standpoint as well, like you can play all these games in a variety of other form factors. I just think the natural audience is inherently less if you don't have to buy this to play some really popular exclusives.
What about, since you mentioned that, and I did want to kind of take this topic and try to run with it a bit. Could this work on like we've talked about it a little bit before, but like if Xbox came out with like an Xbox Switch where it was like, I don't know, let's just pretend the Series X isn't coming out, and right now the only Xboxes we have are the Xboxes we have. If it was just an Xbox One the size of a Switch, because that console's super old now, and you could feasibly get that hardware shrunk down that far, and it would be download only or whatever, or a PlayStation 4 Switch, do you think that would have appeal? Or is there something about Nintendo and the kiddos and their mobile games, their Pokemons and their Animal Crossings?
I think that's part of it.
Yeah, because the Nintendo titles is what got me to buy a Switch, but
me too.
I also, from talking to people that I know that are not PC gamers, there's a lot of people that just want to play games on their couch instead of in front of a computer. So there is a group of people that are interested in something like this, which is not really us or our viewers, but there's people that just want to play on the couch. And if they have a PC where they can get Steam titles Whether or not they run well is another thing, but just access to titles that they normally wouldn't have, maybe there is some market for that, and maybe this is an avenue to do that.
Yeah. I just always think, like, I think Nintendo's done a pretty good job, like a reasonably good job, especially for their own games, about scaling UI, like making UI that works well on small screens and big screens, because they're kind of aware of the Switch. I remember being pretty excited for xCloud, and when I was using that on my Pixel 3a, it was so hard to, like, see things. Like, it was... in Gears of War, there's like a reload minigame. I never got it because I just couldn't see the little line, and I wonder how that would scale. You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, even looking at the picture here, like the Windows icons, the little tiny things, like they're way smaller than the tip of your thumb. So like, how would that all work? Yeah, like if it's just running Windows, like I would assume that the scale you get is the scale you get.
Well, you can scale UI, but still.
Right, but if you're talking about Windows and stuff, like you're opening up Steam and it's got all these dialog boxes and whatever, like that's all going to be teeny tiny.
It also, like, to an extent, like, it's not just the UI, it's that at least the first-party Nintendo games are ostensibly designed to be played on the Switch, either in a portable or a docked fashion, like that it should be comfortable and fun in either way. And there is something, you know, simple and satisfying about Nintendo games. Like, there's not much going on in terms of, like, you can play Mario Odyssey on a small screen and still enjoy the game. You just have to mostly be able to jump and, like, throw your hat. Whereas a lot of the games that tend to be more popular on PC, like your RPGs and your first-person shooters and your, you know, your point-and-click games, like, those things just are not designed to be played in this form factor.
Assuming that this new console came out and it was, like, perfect. It had the power it needed, it worked perfectly. Do you guys think it's just too late? Because a lot of the games that are out already that might be interested, people might be interested in from Steam, are probably already on the Switch. I'm looking through my library and I see, like, Hollow Knight has already been ported, Into the Breach. A lot of the games that work well with a controller and have not ever been available to non-PC players are already on the Switch. Is it just too late, assuming this was a slam dunk of a console?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think the market's there. I just think that the price point that people are willing to pay for something like this is so low that hardware is not able to keep up with it. Like,
yeah,
you can I kind of think a PC is, it's like, there's some exclusive stuff, but most stuff comes out on PC. Like, it comes out on all three. So PC, you get stuff that doesn't necessarily come out on both. You know, it comes out on PlayStation, not because it's a PlayStation kind of family first-party title, but it just only came out on PlayStation. Like, you might be able to get that on PC, or you might be able to get it to work on PC if you're willing to put in the effort. And if this is running Windows, like, you can, I assume you could do whatever. Like, you could run crack games on it, you could run whatever you wanted on it, because it's just Windows. So, you know, if it had the guts to back it up, I just don't think that you can do that currently with what's available. I think, yeah, there's a market for it. It's just nobody's really hit that price point. Nobody wanted the NVIDIA Shield because it was, like, huge money for what you actually got.
Yeah.
Which, you know, just buy a PC at that point. If you could actually come out with something that $250, $300 and it's actually a kind of capable piece of equipment, you know, I can see people going for that, because it gets PCs into the hands of the folks that just want to sit on their couch. Like, they don't want to deal with, they can plug this into a dock and you get, I assume there'd be some sort of streamlining there when you have it in dock mode, and, you know, you can play your games on your controller sitting on your couch. It's a PC in the middle instead of being a Switch or an Xbox or whatever.
I think it wouldn't get the same mass appeal as a Switch. I think that it might get a niche audience, but I don't think it would grow, personally. But I don't know.
Well, but if you look at it as like an entry-level gaming PC,
Yeah,
For
for,
someone
or
that's
like
15, 16 years, like you
like-
don't have much money, but you want a gaming PC. You don't want a console. You want
or just
like,
kids who
PC.
want a tablet that like video games, like instead
Yeah,
of
true enough.
That's been tried in a few iterations. Like Brian said earlier, there was the Nvidia Shield, there was the PlayStation Portable, which the whole kind of like, proposition there was that it was a more powerful, slightly less portable Nintendo DS that played more mature games. Like, I don't know. I think Nintendo's just got the mobile market wrapped up, and presumably, if this were like it worked. Presumably, for people who are interested in getting a cheap PC, you could just get an actual PC that would be cheaper because you don't have to cram all this stupid shit into it.
Right, but you don't have to you don't have to build it. You can build a PC really cheap, but this is just out of the box. It's not great, but it's $250 and it works more or less.
Well, $250 would be really cheap.
well, the tablet's
Switches
starting
are
at 150,
$300.
so we'd assume it would be, or yeah, we could guess, but okay, yeah. I mean, I think we're pretty good on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of neat. Coming out of CES, there were a few other things, but I think this was the most like interesting on the gaming side.
Controllers look way fucking better than the fucking
They do look better than the Joy-Con. I did note
Joy-Cons.
that.
Anything is better than a Joy-Con.
so much better than the Joy-Con.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not. To be completely fair to Nintendo, they're not designed to do the same thing.
Kill
This was
yourself?
designed to beyond that. These are designed. You take it off and you get one controller.
Yeah, one controller. They're not
Yeah.
overstretching, basically. All right, cool. Well, I think that wraps us up. Cool little prototype. Nice to see. Maybe it'll come out a prototype. If they show some cool specs, maybe we'll talk about it again. But until then, what should our listeners be doing right about now?
Well, if the only cool specs you're worried about is how well your Excel macros are going to run on this damn
Hell
thing,
yeah.
go ahead and hammer your thoughts
Hell
on
yeah.
that. The macros, right? Hammer your thoughts on that down in the word box there. And we do give away things from time to time. So in addition to just our appreciation and gratitude, if you subscribe to this channel, there might be something in it for you. So go ahead and click that subscribe button because, if you watched this far, you probably liked it. We do have a veritable shit ton more content like this on the Cohesive Friendship Unit channel. And smoke them if you got them, guys. That's all for me tonight, Chris.
All right, thank you, Brian. Catch you guys next time.